Abduction by Jessica Thiesing. Introduction to child abduction. Abduction is a crime involving the action of forcibly taking someone away against their will. In this discussion, we will be analyzing the process of a child abduction. The most common type of child abduction is family abduction, where a child is taken by a relative they are close with. I have chosen this topic because I believe every human being should be aware of the dangers around them. How abducted children are found. Origins.edu say parents of kidnapped victims remain dependent on publicity along with police cooperation. When a child has been abducted, the parents are in a frantic state, not being able to do much. The most successful and mostly only way is to publicize the child that was abducted and where they were. The more people that know the face of the child, the more likely someone is to find. Here we have a chart of a statistical chart saying the amount of missing complaints and the amount of people found. If you analyze the chart, you can see that the amount of missing complaints is much higher than the amount of people found. Reasons for missing children. There are countless number of reasons why children are taken over the years. However, here are some of the most common reasons. 1.5% of children are taken from non-family members, like strangers. This means many are happening within the family or because of family issues. 6.8% are because of family. 7.5% are missing involuntarily, and 41.1% are due to missing benign explanation, and 43.2% are due to runaway/throwaway. Parental abductions. According to Origins.edu, parental kidnappings in particular have increased by leaps and bounds over the 20th century. Parental kidnaps happen due to human trafficking, stealing a child with the intent to exploit the child themselves, or through trade to someone who abused the child through slavery, forced labor, or sexual abuse. Parents will always do this to get revenge on their spouse. Law enforcement. It has been said by Origins.edu when child abduction once came to national attention as a painful and threatening problem in the late 1970s and 1980s, it came with a similar sense of the inadequacy of law and law enforcement, the helpless grief of parents, and the public's fascination with the crime. When abductions first became known wide, there were few laws to protect the families. Law enforcement started to take the motives to enforce punishment to those who deserve it. Law enforcement continued. The parents of victims started to create foundations to commemorate victims, to assist in finding other children, and to bring subject to the attention of national authorities, including congressional panels. The FBI began providing funding for a new agency, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Sexual relations with child abduction. Within the Origins.edu, one sexual violation or other sadistic practices which likely led to the victim's death were seen as motives for child disappearance, all because parents became vulnerable because all children could be victims of such crimes. This means that once sexual abuse became a motive in child abduction, all parents of abducted children became fearful. Once this fear was instilled upon the parents, they became even more nervous and anxious. Conclusion. Within my time while living in Cold Lake, I have never experienced or heard about a child abduction. Even though I've never experienced it or seen it personally, I believe that it is important for everyone to be aware. Nothing is guaranteed, and just because it has never happened doesn't mean it never will. When I have children, I will make sure to keep my children safe. If I was never taught or learned about this topic, I would be vulnerable to the possibility, and I have learned to make sure I trust the people I leave my children with and know exactly who is taking care of them. Many don't understand the side effects of your child or someone you know being abducted. It can leave them with depression, loyalty trust, emotional attachment, and feelings of betrayal. Some may forget how a child reacts because of the family's emotional response. It is important to take into consideration how the abducted child feels and not only the child's family.